Landon from Outlaw Motorsports here in Kamloops, BC called me and said, hey Turkey, I got a couple of fresh sleds for you. So this one here on my left, we got the Khaos Boost 155 325. This one over here, it's the 9R Khaos 155 325. Both are going to be project sleds for the year. This one's staying with the gray and blue sort of hemlock color. The Boost getting a full red and black transformation. It's time to get these sleds out of the showroom, into the trailer, and back home. All right, sleds are all loaded up. I got boxes of parts in the garage right now, just waiting for these things to come home. Let's go build some sleds. All right, guys, the sled is in the shop. You may have noticed that I got the black and red panels on it now. That's all due to the fact that I got a wrap in the box behind me from Deviant Inc. I did a little bit of side panel changes and hood changes to this sled. It's the 155 Khaos Boost 325. It's about time to get these OEM graphics off of the sled and get this custom made Deviant Inc. wrap on. It's the foundation of the build for my 2026 backcountry weapon. Let's get into it. Well, we're about a couple hours in. I just cracked a 10 o'clock Monty and yeah, Deviant Inc. wrap is almost fully complete. We have a couple of things that are being added to the snowmobile where we don't actually need to complete the wrap right now. So at this stage, I think it's time to move on. We got a giant box of backwoods BMP stuff in the back, and I think we're gonna start on the front end of the sled, change out that front bumper, work our way to the back. We're gonna be doing subframes, tunnel supports, rear bumper, entire rail brace kit, oversized wheel and offset axle. This thing's getting it all. So it's time to get on the tools and we're gonna start thrashing. Classic, dude. Drop the 10mm nut, not the socket, the actual nut itself. Are you even wrenching though if you don't drop a nut down on your brand new snowmobile? It's alright, I'm sure I'll find it later when it goes flying through my primary clutch. Yes, success, dude. Alright, pretty quick and little painless install. The front bumper, only lost one nut down there. Was able to find it. Now we're just flanging it all back up here again. We're gonna start moving on to the back end. We're gonna do the rear bumper here. Got to pull the rear bumper off and start drilling rivets for the new backwoods one. It's a bit of a process, but we're gonna get it. I'm getting stretched here, yeah? YouTube on? I'm YouTubing, yeah. I got Wyatt on the YouTube here, yeah? You're getting your You're literally getting your YouTube on. Getting this rivet on. Holy fuck. You like that, Aries? You're not the non-fuck up here. I'm not fucking up here, no? Well, we're getting close to midnight. And I'm not as psycho and young as Kyle Pulsifer, but we're gonna start prepping the next steps for the backwoods segment here of the build. Drop the skid out, and the next steps is gonna be getting these rear running board supports on the snowmobile. And then when the skid is out, we'll be able to get the big wheel kit and the rail braces in there. We will do our Olin shocks, and then we'll be able to do the backwoods subframes on the running boards and set of handlebars, and then lots of under the hood goodies to get put on from Speedworks. So yeah, burning the actual midnight oil here. Gonna try and get it done as fast as we can, but it's been a long day and don't want to make any mistakes. I just want to try and do all this once and not have to go back and redo it. All right, we got the skid out on the bench. First thing we're gonna do is remove the rear axle and bogie wheels, and then we're gonna be going and doing the rail braces, the backwoods BMP billet rail braces, and then we'll also be doing the offset axle with oversized wheels. So a bit of a combo in the rear skid here, and while we got it out, I'm gonna go ahead and put the Öhlins rear track shock and the Öhlins center track shock in, and we should be ready to put this back in the next little bit here. You know, it's funny, I'm like working on subframes right now and I'm working on all these bolts, but then I'm thinking about all the other moves. Like we just pulled the muffler off. I'm like, oh, I got a Push Industries muffler that's gonna go in here. And then I'm looking at the brake rotor. I'm like, oh, I got a brake rotor that's been lightened and balanced that Tom made me. It's funny to be working like on one thing, but my ADD brain is just firing on everything else. So what I like to do, and this is just personal preference, is I'll actually build these subframes on the bench, and then I'll take them to the sled and assemble it back together pretty much the same way that it came apart with the OEM ones. All right, we're all flanged up on this side of the subframe. Lots of structural integrity involved with using a billet subframe like that. You know, some of the big impacts of drops, smashing up against tree stumps, tree riding. Yeah, backwoods kind of just gives me the best ability to make my sled stronger and ready to take anything I throw at it. All right, after a bunch of drilling, riveting, bolting stuff together, we got all of the backwoods products on the sleds. And this Öhlins package just showed up. I'm about to open up this box. So we got center track shock, rear track shock, and ski shocks here in these 3 different boxes. We're gonna start with the skid since we already have it out. We just did the backwoods big wheel install and the rail brace kit. So that'll be the first task, and then we'll move on to the front ski shocks and keep on grinding, man. I would say we're about halfway there right now. So before I get this center shock mounted up in the skid, I like to set my preloads prior. And for the playfulness that I enjoy with the Khaos, I like to have the preload on the center shock a little bit more tensioned up than the rear track shock. So for that sake, we're gonna go a 1/2 inch of tension, of preload tension on the center track shock. So what I'll do is, you can see I've got it static. There's no tension on it now. I'll measure the spring length, and then I'll crank tension down with these preload adjusters until I get the right amount that I need. And then in this rear track shock, I'll actually do very similar, but with the rear track shock, I actually prefer very little tension on there. So I like to rely mostly on the hydraulic of the compression adjuster, the clicker on the shock body. So I'll add just enough tension to that spring that the keeper collar on the bottom is not going to try and fall out under big compression hits. So I'm actually loosening tension off right now, and I'll actually just hand tighten it to the point where I like it, and then tighten it all up, and then we'll be installing shocks into the skid. boost clutching, also from Speedworks, fully adjustable. They come preloaded, set for the elevation that you want to ride at. So primary spring, secondary helix, full kit. I'm on my tippy toes, bro. Help if I was taller. Oh, I just put it right back in the groove.
Do you want me to give Rocky a call?
Yeah, I need to call a friend. Need the crisis support line. See the smoke starting to come out my ears, Wyatt?
Mm-hmm.
You're within throwing range. How's the angle from over there? Do I look taller?
Yeah.
You know, you just got tired of filming me for like 20 minutes struggling with this thing. Got the C-clip, man. So you can't wear me down. I like winning. And now we got that C-clip off. We're gonna put more of our Speedworks parts in. All right, we got the, this is a lightweight spring retainer or spring cup from Speedworks. And then this one goes down, it's actually what holds your rollers on. So I like to mark the shaft with a Sharpie, and then I actually mark this cup too, because it's keyed. So just giving yourself some sort of visual as to where the key has to sit. Just like that, the Speedworks secondary clutch is all done. So we changed the helix, changed the spring cup and the spring retainer. Got the small rollers in there now. This clutch is ready to go on the sled. Now we're gonna start working on the primary. That's a wrap on the Speedworks clutching. So we changed the primary weights, primary spring, changed the helix and the spring in the secondary. Since we have this side of the side panel already open, we're gonna move on to the CFR handlebars. All right, the foundation of this handlebar setup, we're gonna be starting with the T-post adapter from CFR. This allows me to run the Nux riser, which then allows me to add forward lean or reverse lean to the handlebars. So having that adjustability is quite nice, similar to the stock setup in the sense that you can adjust where you want the bars to be, forward or back. The other option would be to run a FTP, which would be a direct mount to the top of the steering post. That doesn't really give you the option to move the bars forward or reverse. So that's why I'm gonna go with this setup. And over the last 10 years, I've had multiple different types of setup. The one thing that remains consistent though, is that I'm rocking CFR products on every one of my sleds that I want to get out and get after it with. I do run some stock handlebars on some of my guiding sleds and stuff that I run for clinics, mostly for the fact that I can explain or put people on that snowmobile and try and get them to get a feel for what the Polaris feels like right out of the box. My own custom handlebar from CFR. This one's 28.5 inches wide. It's got 10 degrees sweep in the pullback of the rise here. So it's fairly straight actually, and it's 1 1/8 inch clamping surface here where it goes onto the riser. It's a bar that I've developed over the last 10 years. It's been constant evolution working with CFR, and yeah, it's pretty awesome to be able to have something that I believe in, I can put my name on, and people are out there putting their trust in an awesome product like this one. Closing in on the final stages now. We got the Speedworks lightweight hood with the intake system built into it. It's pretty simple install as far as I can see in the instructions. 3 hose clamps, a coupler pipe, an elbow, and yeah, a whole lot of weight savings and a whole lot of horsepower to be made. So I'm just dry fitting the intake pieces up here now for the Speedworks hood. It actually pulls air directly from the top of the hood straight to the turbo. It bypasses the airbox completely, so it's gonna have nice cold air, like somewhere around 30 to 40 degrees Fahrenheit cooler intake temps, which in turn is gonna create some nice horsepower. So now we have all the electronics and everything set up for the hood. We're gonna give it a little bit of a dry fit. See if we can tie it all together. Pretty stoked on this setup. Talking about to the Rimshaw guys, this is sort of like Rimshaw born and bred. You know, if it works on the racetrack, most times it works out in the backcountry. One of the things that they said is that they had an increase in RPM just by mounting the hood, which means it's making horsepower. And then this actually, the intake surface up here, does a really good job in the deep snow of actually just like popping the snow off every time that you let off. So certainly some good benefits to be had. It's lighter weight than stock, it breathes better, and it makes more power. So looking forward to seeing, you know, the increased throttle response, the lightweight, the lines, like the edges on the hood look very close to OEM, which is pretty sick because I like that kind of edgy, you know, aggressive look. All right, we got the Speedworks hood all installed. The intake, you can see, goes directly to the turbo. There's just one final piece missing to complete this puzzle here, and that's the Push Industries titanium muffler. We're gonna be getting that one on. I'm gonna be going with the race version of that. It actually has no baffling inside. It free flows really well. Crazy instant throttle response and like close to 4 horsepower gain. So gonna unbox that one, get it on the sled, and then we should be able to get this thing under the lights and make it look real pretty. Dude, are we done? Nope, phone's ringing, we're not done. What's up, Peters? Yeah, just working here, yeah?
Oh, sorry. What are you saying?
Yeah, I'm singing, just about got my mod sled done. What are you saying?
Oh, I'm on route, yeah.
You're burning down here, eh?
I'm burning down, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Are you ripping the queue or what?
I'm ripping to the queue, yeah.
Holy. I would love some queue, but I got all the kids here too. I'd feel really bad if you showed up with some queue.
Should I just get an ice cream cake or is it?
That's a wrap on my 2026 Khaos Boost 155 build. Special thank you Speedworks, CFR, Deviant Inc., Olin's, Backwoods BMP. You know, there's a bunch of people that helped make this one possible. Man, it's pretty sick. Indy red and black. Kind of trying something a little bit different this year. Kind of a little bit of loss for words for naming it. So maybe drop me a comment, give me a name suggestion into this one. Really excited to get it out on snow. Yeah, if you guys like this video, make sure you hit the like button. Drop me a comment, tell me what you liked about it, and don't be shy, hit that subscribe button. We'll see you in the next video. We're gonna be out on the snow with this one right now.